I woke up one crisp morning, slipped on my robe, and grabbed my coffee mug, expecting nothing more than the usual quiet beauty of my front yard. Instead, I froze, jaw dropping as I stared at my lawmy pride and joy covered in thick, crusty lines of salt, poured in wild, swirling patterns like some kind of deranged crop circle. The grass was already wilting, turning brown under the assault. I stood there, dumbfounded, when my neighbor Sarah bolted across the street, her eyes wide with panic. "Jake, you've got to see this," she gasped, pointing to where Linda Harper, the neighborhood's self-proclaimed queen bee, stood clutching an empty rock salt container, muttering to herself like she was in a trance. When Linda caught us staring, she didn't flinch, just shot us a defiant glare that sent a chill down my spine. "What the hell did she do to my lawn?" I asked, my voice shaking as the reality sank in. My grass, 3 months of meticulous care, was dying by the minute. Sarah leaned in, her voice low. "She's been out here since dawn, ranting about purging the EVYL from your yard. Jake, I think you need to call the cops." I couldn't believe it. Linda had been a thorn in my side since I moved to Willow Creek 6 months ago, but this was vandalism, plain and simple. My hands trembled with fury as I dialed 911, watching Linda stand there, unapologetic, like she'd just performed some holy ritual. Willow Creek was the kind of place you'd see in a magazine: perfectly manicured lawns, elegant landscaping, a community that took pride in every detail. As a software developer working from home, I craved that peace. I'd spent weekends planting flowers that drew butterflies, installing solar-powered path lights that glowed softly at night, and hanging wind chimes that sang in the breeze. It was my sanctuary. But to Linda Harper, the iron-fisted head of the Homeowners Association for nearly a decade, my little touches were apparently NNVY Tatillon for chaos. Linda was in her mid-50s, always dressed like she was storming a corporate boardroom, even on Sundays. Her face seemed permanently set in a scowl, like she was judging the world for existing. Our first run-in came a month after I moved in. I was tweaking one of my solar lights when her shadow loomed over me. "Those aren't HOA approved," she snapped, not bothering with a hello. I stood up, offering a smile on my hand. "Hi, I'm Jake. Just moved in. These are simple solar lights, not permanent or anything." She ignored my hand, her eyes narrowing. "They're creating a disturbance on this street. People have complained about strange energies when they pass your house." I blinked, confused. "Energies? They're just lights." She pointed at my wind chimes. "And those? They're summoning spirits with that incessant noise." I almost laughed, thinking she was pulling my leg, but her face was dead serious. "This street was calm before you showed up, Jake. Now, there's a darkness here. I feel it." I brushed it off, figuring she was just flexing her HOA muscles to intimidate the new guy. I politely explained that my decorations were well within the HOA guidelines. I'd triple-checked the handbook. She stormed off, and I thought that was the end of it. Boy, was I wrong. Linda was just warming up. Soon, notices for emergency HOA meetings started flooding our mailboxes, each one with an agenda about paranormal disturbances and unapproved spiritual items on my address. 142 Willow Lane. I showed up to the first meeting, handbook in hand, ready to shut it down. Instead, I sat through an hour of Linda's unhinged rants about negative energies and portal-opening decorations coming from my yard. Most neighbors looked mortified, avoiding eye contact, but no one dared challenge her. When I cited the handbook, pro-VYing my decorations were compliant, Linda waved it off. "The rules don't cover metaphysical violations," she said, like that was a real thing. I left feeling like I'd stumbled into a bad sci-fi, MOVYE. Then came the flyers. I found them plastered on car windshields, pinned to community boards, even handed to VY citers at the neighborhood entrance. "Warning! Paranormal active VY tie reported at 142 Willow Lane. Proceed with caution." They included a laughably bad Photoshop of my house, shrouded in creepy mist. I started collecting them, sensing I'd need EVY Denke if this escalated. When the flyers didn't get the reaction she wanted, Linda upped the ante. She began hosting protection circles on her lawn, where she and a handful of her loyal followers would chant, wave burning sage, and glare at my house like it was the gates of hell. Most neighbors were embarrassed, closing their blinds or hurrying past, but Linda was relentless. I tried talking to her calmly. I tried ignoring her. I even suggested a mediator from the city's dispute resolution center. Every attempt was met with wild accusations that I was spreading dark influence across Willow Creek. Then came that morning of one that pushed me over the edge. I woke to find my lawn desecrated, salt poured in intricate, deliberate symbols, my grass browning before my eyes. This wasn't just harassment anymore. It was destruction. I called the police, my heart pounding as I showed them the damage, and explained Linda's months-long crusade. They seemed skeptical until I mentioned my security cameras. Like any cautious homeowner, I'd installed a full system when I moved in. I pulled up the footage on my phone, and there she was, Linda Harper, at 3 a.m., methodically dumping salt across my lawn, chanting and occasionally raising her arms to the sky like some wannabe witch. The officer's jaws dropped. "She's been harassing me for months about EVYL spirits," I said, my voice tight. "But this is criminal." One officer crossed the street to confront Linda, who was still standing there, watching us with that smug look. To my shock, she didn't deny a thing. "I was cleansing his property," she declared, like it was her God-given duty. "The HOA rules don't forbid spiritual warfare." The officer came back, shaking his head. "She admits, Itsuis, she was protecting the neighborhood from dark energy in your yard." I clenched my fists. "I want to press charges. This isn't about spirits. This is about a woman who thinks she can destroy my property because she doesn't like me." The officers nodded and asked for a repair estimate. As a data guy, I already knew the numbers would be brutal. Salt doesn't just kill grass, it poisons the soil, making it barren for months, maybe years, without serious work. A landscaper confirmed my fears that afternoon. Dula $3,800 for complete soil replacement and new sod. When the police returned with the estimate, everything shifted. Linda's spiritual cleansing was now felony vandalism, with damages well over the state's threshold. "But I'm the HOA president," she shrieked as they informed her she was under arrest. "I was protecting our property values from his demonic decorations." The officers weren't impressed. "Ma'am, being HOA president doesn't let you trespass and destroy property. Turn around, hands behind your back." The look on Linda's face as the handcuffs clicked pure, unfiltered shock was something I'll never forget. She genuinely believed her title made her untouchable, that her self-appointed role as Willow Creek's spiritual sheriff put her above the law. As they led her to the squad car, she kept screaming, "You're persecuting me for seeing the truth. His yard is EVYL." Neighbors started poking their heads out, some filming, others whispering. The quiet street was buzzing with a mix of disbelief and relief. After the dust settled, a few neighbors approached me, their voices hushed, like they were confessing sins. "She once reported my garden gnome," one admitted, "said it was inviting mischievous entities." Another chimed in, "Last year, she tried banning Christmas lights, claimed they attracted spirits from other realms." We all thought she was losing it, but no one wanted to be her next target. The legal process moved fast. Linda was charged with criminal trespassing and felony vandalism. Her defense that she was performing a necessary spiritual service fell flat. The judge wasn't buying it. "Religious beliefs don't justify destroying property," he said sternly. Linda took a plea deal, full restitution of Dula $3,800, a Dula $5,000 fine, 2 years probation, and mandatory community service. When the sentence was read, she looked like she'd been slapped. "But I was protecting everyone," she stammered. "The EVY was real. You'll all regret this when dark forces take over." The judge banged his gavel, unfazed, and she was led away, still ranting. Standing on my porch later, watching the sunset, I couldn't help but marvel at how one woman's delusions had spiraled so far. My lawn would recover, but Willow Creek? It felt different now, freer, like a weight had lifted. Linda's reign was over, and maybe, just maybe, we could all enjoy our homes without fear of her next crusade. So what do you think? Was Linda just a nutcase? Or did she genuinely believe she was SAVYing the neighborhood? Should HOA presidents have this much power, or is it time to rethink how these groups operate? And let's get real. Would you have pressed charges or let it slide to keep the peace? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if this story got your blood pumping, and subscribe for more wild neighborhood sagas. Let's keep this conversation going.